thank you so much for making the point and the emphasis that migration issues have become topical, Mr. Happy. I think that's a very important point to note. You know how the kind of measurement I use to assess that aspect. I always try to look into how migration issues or immigration issues emphasized on the political stage by political candidates who are running for office. If it's a topical issue in a country, you're going to see how much it gets politicized on that stage. And this is what made me feel like this book is the necessary book for us to have a discussion about on the series. So I want us to get into a discussion of the core ideas of the book. We want to give you the opportunity to break it down for us, Dr. Emre. What are the core ideas of the book, and what do you consider to be the central argument?
Yeah, so this book could be easily understood from its title. It's discussing new technologies in migration management, border security, and in general people's mobility. So there are so many different types of new technologies are applied. Of course, artificial intelligence, but also blockchain. There are many forms of data science and also robotics. We can see all these kind of technologies. So I first try to show how these technologies are used in different countries, from US to EU and to the developing countries, and who produces these technologies, who are behind these technological solutions, which companies are doing that, and what kind of ethical and political problems it can create potentially. But when I write this book, it's not just about migration or about protecting or defending migrants' rights. I think this is very important, but I try to link it with other areas and more general political issues. So it's not only the politicians who are exploiting migration, but also, for example, many technology corporations are investing in this area to test their new technologies. So it can be to stop migration, like in the smart borders, to predict and stop migratory movements, but it can be under the name of social responsibility, pro-migration, and helping migrants to integrate financially, all this kind of stuff. So it can be pro or anti-migrant migration, but many of these technologies are tested on migrants and refugees. When I say tested, for example, in 2016, 2018, when I first started working on this book, the blockchain technology was very new. And, we just knew it from cryptocurrencies, but there are so many investigations about how to use blockchain technology in different areas. And it was very interesting to see most of these applications were applied on migrants and refugees. So, for example, Red Cross had a blockchain-based cash transfer program in Kenya, in very remote area in Kenya. There wasn't any internet, but there was blockchain there. So it was used by the World Food Program in Jordan to send again money, cash transfer to the refugees in different camps in Jordan, and then it's used in Nepal, for example, after earthquakes. So you can see it's very global impact, mostly in the developing countries, and it's used on migrants and refugees and emergency situations. So then, why do we really need blockchain here if nobody knows it and if nobody uses it? Even these, for example, humanitarian organizations don't know. So these questions are coming to my mind, and I wanted to link these discussions also with other issues. For example, there are so many discussions on future of warfare and peace studies. And I noticed that most of these border security technologies, like drones or sensors, they can be easily used in the wars. So they are military equipments. So in the name of protecting borders against migrants, it's good to justify for politicians, but then it can be used to attack the neighboring country. So then this is important to protect peace, for example, to be against the warfare. Or there are so many discussions on surveillance capitalism. So there are so many discussions on privacy and criticizing the business model of tech corporations like Google, Facebook. They are categorizing us, they are trying to manipulate us, they are sending us political messages or commercial messages to convince us to take action. It can be political or economic. We can purchase something from Amazon, or we can just vote for someone. But there are concerns about the power of tech companies to influence people. And many of these surveillance technologies or surveillance capitalism business model are also applied on migrants, because it's very easy to justify when you say, okay, I'm predicting crime, I'm predicting migration, I have to invest in this. And this seems to be a great idea to people. There are lie detectors, for example, to predict if someone is lying or not. They put kiosks on airports, and I wonder if someone pushes me in front of such a kiosk, I would feel very stressed. Even I do not need to hide anything, in a different country, in a foreign country. So all these lie detectors or surveillance control regimes, if they are applied successfully in the refugee camps or migratory movements, then we will face these problems everywhere. If the lie detectors are working well, then we will see lie detectors in workplaces, in police stations, in schools. And this is a big control and operation on people. So these are some of the ideas I wanted to mention. Yes, I summarized the technologies in migration management. I mentioned, what kind of technologies, how they use different case studies, but I always try to link it with a general systemic issue, what the capitalism has, why capitalism has been using these technologies, or is this something related to the future of warfare, future of work, these kind of questions. So just to take attention of colleagues from different disciplines, so they can say, okay, something is going on in this area, and let's look at these examples.